8.4, and I think the best way to explain 8.4 is to do a question. So we're going to do question 3 together right now. So question 3 says, the circle graph shows the grade levels of the students that attended a dance. And then A is, which grade had the most students at the dance? B, if there were 300 students at the dance, how many grade 7 students were there? And then C, how many more grade 9 students came than grade 8 students? So this unit is going to be all about circle graphs. Okay, so circle graphs are a visual way for us to see how much of something. So in this graph, we have 40%, and those are the grade 7s, 25%, grade 8s, and 35% grade 9. And these are students who attended the school dance. Okay, so my circle graph lets me see, because if there's a bigger part of the circle, which our 40% should be bigger, that's the biggest part or the smaller part. So it's a really quick visual to get data or information. So question 3A is nice and easy because it says which grade had the most students at the dance. Well, I can easily see just by looking at my circle graph that the grade 7s had the most students at the dance. They had 40% of the students there. 3B and C is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So it says, if there were 300 students at the dance, how many grade 7 students were there? So this goes back to, I think it was unit 6 where we had questions that were saying 40% of 300. And we were changing 40% into a fraction and finding out our answer that way. That's still a really good strategy to use, but because for unit 8 we have our calculator, there's also an easier strategy. So I can take this 40% and change it quickly into a decimal, because we all know that I can change fractions very easily to a decimal. When I change it to a decimal, I can times this by my total number to figure out what number of grade 7s were there. So if I open up my calculator, I'm going to go 0.40 times my total number, which they gave me 300. Okay, so that tells me that there was 120 grade 7 students at the dance, or that 40% of 300 is 120. So now I'm going to do question C. It says how many more grade 9 students were there than grade 8. So to start out, I need to figure out how many grade 9 students were there. So I'm going to use the same strategy that we used for B. So I know that there was 35% of the pop of 300 was grade 9 students. So I'm going to change that into a decimal and times it by my total. 0.35 times my total tells me that there was 105 grade 9 students. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the grade 8. So going back to our circle graph, there was 25% of 300 was grade 8s. I'm going to change that into a decimal and times it by my total. 0.25 times 300 tells me that there was 75 grade 8s. Now, I'm almost done question C, but it asks me how many more grade 9 students than grade 8 students. So that tells me that they want a subtraction equation. So they want me to go 105 subtract 75 to find out that there was 30 more grade 9 students than there were grade 8s. And if you guys could write me sentences for these questions, that'd be fantastic. So there was 30 more grade 9 students than grade 8. So that should help you with all the questions you need to do for this unit. And I need you to work on questions number 4, 5, and 8. Let me know if you have any questions, and I might post a video about one of those questions questions if you guys are having troubles. Hope this helps. Talk to you guys later.